Good evening, everyone. The lights are on, the fires are going, and welcome to Saiker's Acres. We're about 10 minutes outside of Sherwood Park, Alberta. I'm Jack Michaels, play-by-play voice of the Edmonton Oilers. Bob Stauffer to my immediate right, and we are so glad you're joining us not only live and in person, but around the world on Oilers TV. It should be a fantastic event tonight. The Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens, an alumni game, Bob, and a bit of a rematch of sorts, and I know you are first and foremost on the scene in the fall of 2003 when it was a bit chillier.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? It didn't matter if it was going to be minus 30. These people would be here tonight because that's the nature of Albertans. I grew up in Fulton Vale, was a Strathcona Warrior, which is the region that we're in right now, county of Strathcona. So it's an absolute kicker to be here. And I think the Oilers, the guys that played in that game, are maybe looking for a little bit of redemption because Edmonton ultimately lost 4-3 that night to Montreal, and unfortunately it started a bit of a downward swoon for the Oilers that night.
But in the alumni game, Edmonton blanked Montreal 2-0. As I recall, Mark Messier said, typical Oiler win, right back to game one of the 84 Stanley Cup final. Defensive-minded affair.
You know, you got to have some depth goal scoring, and that's what happened in that game, Jack.
We'll see what Richard Sevigny and Ben Scrivens, tonight's goaltenders, have to say about the final score tonight. One thing I can tell you, and the other thing about Albertans, is they're always here to support a good cause. And we're here on behalf of Alberta Lung, Northwest Territories, and Breathing Space, which is going to be the first lung health recovery home of its kind, not only in Alberta, but in the entire nation. Looking forward to taking your donations as we move through tonight's broadcast. But first, let's meet the third member of our team, Tony Brar.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Bob. I'm Tony, and I'll be between the benches here tonight talking to many of these legends throughout the game. And let me tell you, on ice, it was a terrific atmosphere in the warm-up. Tons of smiles. I even saw Louie DeBrusk murmuring some words to the pregame warm-up music. And listen, I actually walked into the locker room ahead of the game before they came out on the ice, and I even saw some baggage tags still on some sticks in the locker room. So straight off the plane and straight onto the ice do come some of these legends. Listen, this is a great event in support of Breathing Space, Alberta Lung, and Northwest Territories. You can get more information at ablung.ca. It's the alumni rematch we've been waiting nearly 19 years for, 6,649 days to be exact. As Jack mentioned, it was 2-0 as the Oilers blanked the Montreal Canadiens on the afternoon of the Heritage Classic at the Commonwealth Stadium. Now, those temperatures dipped as low as minus 30 with wind chill that night. Thankfully for me, Jack and Bob, it's not going to be that cold at ice level. Minus 7 currently. We might see some freezing rain over the next hour or so, but then things should open up, and it may get as high as 0 for the end of the game. Jack, Bob, back to you.
Thank you so much, and we also want to acknowledge the fact that tonight's game is presented by Harkey Hunt Family Trust. I mean, without Jill and Alexis and their contributions, their support, not only of the alumni over the course of the years, Bob, but this specific cause. And this Breathing Space, I think in light of what's everything gone on in the world, some of the other illnesses have kind of taken a back seat. And the bottom line is 1 in 5 Albertans, 1 in 5 in Canadians suffer from some form of lung disease. So we want to make sure that we raise the appropriate money tonight to get this home underway. We're going to need to raise about $13 million. Not all of it will come to tonight, of course, but if you're interested, please text to 20222 alumni, the word alumni in all caps, to 20222 just to get things started. And of course, online, Rogers Place 50/50 all night long until 11 o'clock. We're going to be taking your donations, and understand this. You have an early bird prize, and that comes with 2 tickets to an Edmonton Oilers game, Chairman's Club, and a Q&A with tonight's head coach of the Edmonton Oilers alumni, Kevin Lowe.
Yeah, that'd be a real good thing. You know, and the Oilers players have always had a long tradition being involved with charitable organizations. Kevin Lowe was involved with the Christmas Bureau. Glenn Anderson on the ice tonight with Cross Cancer. Mark Messier was with Alberta Lung. So, that just shows you the commitment. And this started all the way back in the days of Glenn Sather. And where did Glenn Sather sort of learn from? He learned from the Montreal Canadiens, the time he spent under the guidance of Sam Pollock late in Slats' career, just before he came to Edmonton in the WHA days.
And the Canadiens, likewise, partnering with the Oilers to make this event happen, and they bring up a pretty notable head coach of their own, a guy who basically was responsible for Don Cherry's 40-year broadcasting career, Yvon Lambert.
Yeah, he scored the big goal after Guy Lafleur tied it on that too many men on the ice call in 1979, and I'll be the first to admit I was a Canadiens fan. I love that 4-in-a-row team, 76 to 1979. They were an awesome team. And then, of course, obviously it was the Islanders' time and then Edmonton's. But a lot of sort of the traditions and the things that Edmonton gained, came from Montreal. And I take it one step further. At one time, the University of Alberta was a tributary school at Fed McGill University. And so there's been a tradition of this connection between Edmonton and Montreal, even across the Grey Cups as well. How many times the Eskimos, now of course the Elks, played the Montreal Alouettes. So, there's been a history between these two organizations. It really got rolling back in 1981. Richard Sevigny was the goaltender for the Canadiens. Wayne Gretzky went +9 in 3 games against the Canadiens. It was a pretty good run. I think the analytics guys only graded him about a 60% Corsi during the course of that series.
Was Jim Corsi even born? We'll get that established. But one thing I will say is Richard Sevigny, tonight's goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens, at the tender age of 64, I'm told, and I did some scouting, that he can still play. So we're going to have an intriguing goaltending matchup tonight, a 29-year difference, but it should be pretty even. It should be a fantastic event. All things, of course, considered, we're here to raise money. We're also here to have a little fun. We're going to have some trades involving, of course, the two teams tonight because, of course, there are some players who played for both clubs during the course of their storied National Hockey League careers. Bob and I back with more storylines and the start of the game in just a few minutes.
Hi everyone, it's Mark Messier. When I was an Oiler, I was so proud to be an ambassador for the Alberta Lung Association for many years and saw firsthand how they help children and families breathe easier. And today, they are going to build Canada's first lung transplant home away from home called Breathing Space to help even more people and ease a huge financial stress on the families. So let's all help build this house. Give generously. Good luck.
Welcome back to Saiker's Acres, just outside of Sherwood Park, as we're on the cusp of the Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens, an alumni game 19 years in the making. He's Bob Stauffer, the third member of our broadcast team, Tony Brar, standing by with the Hockey Hall of Famer, Kevin Lowe.
Thanks, Jack. As you know, tonight's game is called Legends for Lungs, and we're standing alongside the great number 4 who had his numbers go up in the rafters in November in Rogers Place. Kevin, it's so good to see you.
It's so great to be here. What a night. I just wish I was playing at 62 and with one wonky hip and one about to be replaced. Not a good idea to see me out there, but it's going to be a fun night.
Did they approach you to play? Did you give it some thought?
Oh, for sure. No, that's why I'm getting my hip replaced so I can play the next time we have it.
Love to hear it. But you are serving as the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Take us through the game plan a little bit. I saw you getting to know a couple of the guys, a couple of the Oilers for the day, the country music star. Let me know what it's all about right now on the bench.
Well, I can tell you for starters, Glenn Anderson's not going to play much because he was late for the team picture. So he's gonna have to suffer the consequences. But no, I told the guys, whoever's going hard early, who's ever producing the most is going to get the good ice time in the third period. So we'll see who has it. And I don't know, the Canadiens, they sat on a plane for they had really delayed trip, et cetera, so we better jump on them early if we want to win this game.
Kevin, obviously the scoreboard is going to be up on the live stream throughout the night, but tonight's game is a lot bigger than the score itself. It means so much to this community, and of course breathing space. Maybe just take us through on your relationship with them and what tonight means to them.
Well, an incredible cause, and first of all to Brent Sake and his family for hosting this once again. So much that they do for this community, for Northern Alberta with his longest hockey game. But no, all the fellas are excited about being here. The Oilers Foundation supports so many causes. We really appreciate having the Montreal Canadiens here to assist us on this, and we hope that while people are watching the game, that they can step up and make a donation online.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kevin. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, Tony.
Kevin, you heard the man himself. He's going to try pouncing on the Montreal Canadiens early. I mentioned the baggage tags on the sticks. I think I know whose team that belonged to. Jack, back to you.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. Again, tonight's officials, we want to also obviously acknowledge their efforts tonight. We're going to have Norm Shaw and Jeff Nicholas, as well as John Potter, and our linesman for the day, Jason Finkbeiner. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my broadcast partner tonight on 630 CHED and the Oilers Radio Network, and your host of Oilers Now, weekdays noon to 2 on 630 CHED. Here's Bob Stauffer with tonight's player introductions.
All right, let's get started with the Montreal Canadiens. Their head coach, a 4-time Stanley Cup champion. He scored over 200 goals during a 10-year NHL career. Yvon Lambert. The starting goaltender. He won the Vezina Trophy in 1980-81. Numero 33, number 33. That's that community college French for you. Richard Sevigny. He is a hab for a day. He grew up idolizing Jean Beliveau. Numero 4, number 4, Doug Blaylock. Another Canadian for the day. Out of the province of Manitoba, number 25, number 26. Holy, 25, 26. And that is Michael Buer. There we go. Let's give it up for Michael. Numero 6, a fleet-footed member of the Montreal Canadiens. Number 6, Oleg Petrov. Numero 15, number 15, now working as a broadcaster. Number 15, Eric Houde. He's now wearing number 20, not number 15. Correction on the number. One of the toughest players in the history of the National Hockey League. He won with 3 different teams a Stanley Cup championship. Number 12, Mike Keane. We're going to try that number again. Numero 25, number 25, a two-time Stanley Cup champion with the Detroit Red Wings, Mathieu Dandenault. A first-round draft choice of the Montreal Canadiens back in 1977. He scored 20-plus with the Jets. Number 26, Normand Dupont. This guy had a lengthy NHL career, 6 20-plus goal seasons. Number 27, Lucien Deblois. Next up, he played for both the Oilers and the Canadiens, bore a striking resemblance to actor Rowan Atkinson, better known as Mr. Bean. Numero 29, number 29, Jesse Belanger. A member of the greatest world junior team of all time. He played for both the Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens. Would you please welcome number 34, Shawn Belle. And he played for 6 different teams during his NHL career, including the Montreal Canadiens, over 600 games. Number 43, Carol, trying to have some fun with it, Jack. Mike Weaver. All right, let's go on to the Edmonton Oilers. Their alumni, we've already introduced them. The head coach, a 6-time Stanley Cup champion, Kevin Lowe. He played for both the Canadiens and the Oilers organizations and posted one of the greatest individual games in history, a 59-save shutout performance against the San Jose Sharks. Let's welcome back number 30, Ben Scrivens. He is an Oiler for a day. He lacked the speed, talent, agility, coordination, toughness, and character to have played in the NHL. Number 21, Ken Braggett. Considered one of the greatest can't-miss prospects of all time, also an Oiler for the day, number 44, Kelly Myers. He played for both the Oilers and the Canadiens. He was a captain here in Edmonton, one of the best power forwards of the 80s and the 90s. Number 9, Shane Corson. A 6-time Stanley Cup champion and in the Hockey Hall of Fame. The only man to finish top 10 all-time in playoff goals, points, penalty minutes, plus minus, shooting percentage. Glenn Anderson. Hard-nosed, rugged rearguard, a first-round pick in the NHL. Number 23, Shawn Brown. He played for both the Canadiens and for the Oilers. The reigning heavyweight champion of the NHL during his tenure. Number 27, Georges Laraque. Had a long-time NHL career, played over 900 games, including 245 with the Edmonton Oilers. Number 28, Kyle Brodziak. Another legendary Edmonton Oilers enforcer. Oilers got a tough team dress tonight. Played 400 games in the NHL, now current Rogers NHL hockey analyst. Number 29, Louie DeBrusk. A 26-time Canadian Country Music Award winner. Wearing number 32, a dependable defensive defenseman, Gord Bamford. He scored one of the biggest goals in Oilers history. Game number 5 in Carolina back in 2006. The pride of St. Albert, Alberta, number 34, Fernando Pisani. And we save the best for last. A talented broadcaster who etched out a 600 career NHL game for himself. Number 43, Jason Strudwick. Back to you, Jack.
And now with that, I believe we are ready for tonight's national anthem to be sung by number 32 for the Edmonton Oilers, the aforementioned 26-time Canadian Music Award winner, Mr. Gord Bamford.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Gord. And again, tonight's Oilers versus Canadiens Alumni outdoor game, Legends for Lungs, benefiting Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories' support of breathing space, soon to be the first of its kind in Canada, Lung Health and Recovery Home. Now for our ceremonial puck drop, we want to bring out Lee Allard from Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories, as well as Alexis Harkey with our ceremonial puck drop. And please, if you would, one member of the Oilers, one member of the Canadiens, join those ladies at center ice for tonight's ceremonial puck drop. And if no one makes their way to center ice, I will be telling you who's going. Shane Corson for the Edmonton Oilers. Mike Keane, Montreal Canadiens, thank you so much. Heads up, Louie. Jake is coming. And Jordan. So you better bring your game. I just got the official heads up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have some noise here as we're ready for an alumni rematch nearly 2 decades in the making. It's not that cold. Give them some noise. Normand Dupont and Fernando Pisani.
Fernando's the safest man in the arena tonight. He's got DeBrusk and Laraque on his wings. Oilers sending a message early here. Kevin Lowe going old school.
And we're underway. Dandenault. They're not going to call him for icing. Shawn Brown, an early turnover. Dandenault. Dupont. Keane, little give and go. Strudwick and Brown, a nice job of busting up the cycle. Save made on Dupont. Ben Scrivens with his first save.
Ben's always been square to the shooter, and he's really worked on his head placement here to effectively minimize his movements in goal.
From Spruce Grove, here's Louie DeBrusk. Bamford. Quickly advanced up. Michael Burr with a good clear. And Kyle Brodziak, the youngest of the skaters out there. I'll get warned a lot tonight, but thankfully we're up a level. I should have time to escape if need be. Braggett with a good dish, but it's turned over, and now Mike Weaver. Scrivens, solid save. And we'll get a whistle. Bob, early impressions?
I tell you, Montreal's come out. They're ready to play here. They've capitalized on a couple of later giveaways, and right now Kevin Lowe's got to settle that defense down around. Manage that puck a little bit better in their own zone.
Want to remind everyone again, get on Rogers Place 50-50. The early bird in effect for another half hour or so, and the early bird prize tonight, when you buy your tickets, is 2 tickets to an upcoming Oilers game plus a pregame Q&A with Kevin Lowe, and those tickets will be in the Chairman's Club. Oleg Petrov, he can fly, I'm told. Belle backdoor, and a near miss. Michael Burr sitting on the doorstep. Another chance, and he chips it just wide. Shane Corson. Pisani. Mike Weaver, long career in the NHL, 14 years. Just wrapped up a few years ago. Corson looking for Brodziak. Laraque steal. Steal by Petrov.
Look out.
Houde breakaway on Scrivens. Scores! Eric Houde with the first goal of the game, and Montreal takes a 1-0 lead.
Eric Houde was a big-time scorer in the American Hockey League that called up 3 separate times with the Canadiens organization, but he was better than a point per game in the A. Spent some time in the I and over in Europe as well.
15 years as a professional. And he scores to make it 1-0 Montreal. Here from Saiker's Acres. Scores! Short drive from Sherwood Park. Eric Houde with the first. Kyle Brodziak, a Sherwood Park native. Ben Scrivens wheels it over to Shawn Brown. Speaking of Sherwood Park, Shawn Brown, successful hockey school business in the area. Pisani, poke checked away. Laraque will find it. Digging after it down low, Corson. Strudwick, talented puck mover in his day. Looking for Laraque down low. Shawn Brown centering pass deflected.
Got a lot of unselfish Oiler players that don't want to shoot the puck right now, Jack. They want to pass it and it'll go.
Dandenault up to DuPont. Here's a wrist shot. And a save made by Ben Scrivens, peering through a screen against Jesse Belanger. And now Laraque, a breakaway. Turns and fires wide at an empty net.
That would have brought the house down if he'd scored there.
Sevigny with his notable poke check. Didn't make contact, but bothered him just enough. Bamford denied on a centering pass. Mike Keane, an AHL All-Star beyond the age of 40, and now Scrivens able to hang on. And I think Tony Brar is standing by with Jason Strudwick.
Hear me right now. There we go. With a former third-round pick of the New York Rangers and nearly played 700 games in the National Hockey League, Jason Strudwick. I got to ask you, I'm sorry to say this. I just report facts. You're -1 right now. Houde gets the goal. You were on the ice. Did you not hear Ben Scrivens yelling your name?
Well, I heard him. I just thought he was saying, encouraging me, that I'm doing a good job. I didn't know that we were going with 4 forwards and 1 D, so I didn't get Kevin Lowe kind of drop the ball there.
It seems like even when the play is in the other end, he's still yelling at you. Like Scrivens, he's been yelling your name probably more than he's been stopping pucks tonight, right?
Right. It's nice to know he knows my name. You know, I'm going to have to maybe be a little bit more detailed to that, but Montreal's come out hard, and we haven't pushed back, so we have to try to get a little action here.
Did you talk a lot of smack when you were in the NHL? Were you a trash talker?
No, I wasn't. I was too busy trying to keep up with the good players. So I didn't say much. I was more in the dressing room. That's why it was pretty funny.
How has that component of your game evolved since you retired? You've been a part of a lot of these alumni games. How is it going tonight?
Not good. It's not going very well. But we're just usually our first period's a warm up. So look for us in third period and overtime to really be hot.
Okay, well, you're an analyst. Quickly break it down for me. How did the Oilers turn this thing around?
We have to get out of our end. So I don't know how we do that. Unfortunately, I'm not an expert in that, but we'll hopefully some of the better players will figure it out.
Jason, always a pleasure.
Yeah, you got it, Tony.
Jack, Bob, thanks you. Back to you. Sorry.
Middle zone breakout, Jack. That always works.
That's why you tune in for that hard-hitting analysis.
Yes.
Like, get it out of our own end. Braggett with a dish down low. Saucered back to him. Quick shot and a save made by Sevigny. Brodziak, beautiful dish in tight. And unable to finish, Louie DeBrusk.
Look out, Belanger's highly skilled.
Keane backdoor and tipped just wide. Jesse Belanger played until he was 43, a 23-year career. DeBrusk, hard shot on Sevigny, makes the save. Braggett to Pisani. And now DeBrusk. Shawn Brown. Just missed Corson. And this will lead to a breakaway. No, Ben Scrivens, who earlier flashed leather, came way out, knows the Canadiens are onside in another couple of seconds. And as Mike Keane touches back up, the threat dies.
Delayed offside, and they whistled it down.
Talking about it. There's a switch on there that you can turn it off. Or maybe not. I don't think he said he's going to turn you down.
1-0 our score. Montreal on top.
So does that mean I can talk to Mo? I can talk to you guys? What would the purpose of that be? Just so I can talk to the guy?
Laraque from Corson. Down the seam to the net.
There was no way Sevigny was going to allow Laraque to score there. He doesn't want to give the fans any momentum here in this game right now.
Well, it's hometown bragging rights, too. They play against one another on a regular basis.
Sevigny has seen those moves for years.
Let him know if something wired.
Richard Sevigny, little known fact, had his name engraved on the Stanley Cup before he ever played a National Hockey League game. Strudwick down low. Bunny Laraque got hurt in Game 2 of the final, and Sevigny backed up. Here's Mike Keane trying to center. Dropped it off. DuPont, Keane. Fake to slapper, and Scrivens slides across to make the save.
Thwarted a pretty good scoring opportunity, but the Canadiens have showed some skill here, Jack. They got a pretty good transition game going right now.
Again, we want to remind everyone in attendance to please text 20222, the word alumni, to donate to tonight's cause, again, benefiting what we look forward to as the first breathing space, living health and recovery home of its kind. It's called Breathing Space, and it's supported by tonight's presenting charities, Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories. Again, please text the word alumni in all caps to 20222.
I don't mean to get on the refs here, but that looked like it was onside, and the Oilers players look a little bit perplexed by that call. Thwarted a clear scoring chance for Edmonton.
In a related story, Norm Shaw has advised me he'll see you in the parking lot after the game.
As long as he's got Bailey's, we'll be fine.
Halfway through the first period, Montreal 1-0 lead. Dandenault quick dish. DuPont unable to squeeze his way through. Houde the goal scorer, and Scrivens another save. Sitting back door was Belanger, but Scrivens the answer. Shoveled in front, and this time It's a goal.
You know, Mathieu Dandenault has always had offensive instincts. He played both forward and defense during his NHL career. Won a couple cups playing for Ken Holland in Detroit. 3 total during the time he was with that organization. And that time just opened up a seam, and it ends up in the back of the goal.
Eric Houde, both goals tonight. And it's Montreal 2, Edmonton no score.
Oilers are going to have to start digging here. And, you know, they've dressed the bigger lineup, and we really haven't seen it so far out of them. They haven't leaned on the Canadiens at all, haven't got in on the forecheck and established anything. And when you have the type of lineup Edmonton does, I think you got to sort of go that route, don't you, Jack?
Well, it should be noted you did not volunteer to be an Oiler for a day. You retained your broadcasting privileges.
Nobody wanted to see George Laraque hit me again when the inevitable time comes where Laraque is traded back to the Canadiens.
Ooh. Weaver a shot that Scrivens handles.
I got the scoring chances at 5-1 right now for Montreal. The Oilers going to have to pick up their work rate here in the game.
Well, I'm glad you do, because I do not believe natural stat trick is working tonight. Weaver. Chance for Belle, and that's stopped by Scrivens.
Well, you know, see here. I have a feeling we'll see the Oilers work their way into the game, but yet another scenario where Edmonton's trailing in the first period, Jack. We haven't seen that much this year.
Mercifully, it came to an end the other night in Washington, D.C. as the Oilers built a 3-0 lead, eventually beat the Caps 5-3. They'll enter the All-Star break on a 5-0-1 run. Want to remind everyone that there's still time to get in on the early bird. Get in the Rogers Place 50-50. When you buy your tickets, you'll be entered in the next 15 minutes or so to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Oilers game in the Chairman's Club. And you'll have a pregame Q&A with tonight's alumni head coach, Kevin Lowe. A 6-time Stanley Cup champion, a 7-time All-Star, and a Hockey Hall of Famer. Lead pass, Keane, a breakaway, and a blast that's stopped by Ben Scrivens. I believe Finkbeiner was trying to whistle that down for offside. I thought I heard a muffled tweet. Here's Weaver to Kane. Let's go ringside with Tony Brar.
Thanks, Jack. Standing alongside multi-goal scorer tonight, Eric Houde. Are you a little surprised by that, Eric?
Very surprised. I just came here, just tried to follow these guys and those superstars, and I don't know, I got lucky the first 2 shots, first 2 goals. Scrivens is a pretty young goalie, actually, so I'm quite surprised. I'll tell my kids when I get home, I'll tell them I scored against Ben. They'll be surprised too. So no, it's a fun day. So far so good.
It almost seems like you did your homework. You had 2 chances, 2 goals. Maybe break it down how you beat Ben so far.
Oh, I didn't do any homework. Seriously, I just saw Ben Scrivens. Oh, it's going to be a tough night today. And I got lucky. A lot of games left, but he's pretty good, and he's young compared to all of us. So he's got energy. We're all going to be done by the 3rd period, but he's going to be top shape. So no, it's going to be fun. So fun game. It's fun playing out there at the outdoor ring. When it's like when we were young. Actually, we just play outside, except we play against guys that we used to watch on TV or play against or with. So it's great.
If I'm not mistaken, it looks like the Edmonton Oilers just scored. I apologize, Eric. You know what? Your coach is probably not happy with me right now because you're +2. I took you off. But, Eric, one more question for you. We were talking a little bit off camera about your day. You got to the airport in Montreal at 3:30 a.m. this morning. Your flight was delayed. Maybe take us through your day all leading up for such a great cause tonight.
Yeah, it was a sleepless night, actually. We all got there at 3:30 in the morning in Montreal, like you said. But it's for a good cause. It's a good day. We're pretty excited. We're going to sleep pretty well tonight after that game and the night that we didn't sleep yesterday. So it's going to be a good night tonight.
A veteran of 3 seasons with the Montreal Canadiens and a current broadcaster with RDS. Eric, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Jack, I apologize for taking one of your goal calls away, but back up to you in the booth.
I don't think anyone cared. George Laraque capitalizing on a beautiful give and go, and the Oilers have whittled the deficit to 2-1.
George scored 53 goals in the NHL, Jack, and he looked every bit as excited scoring there. as he did each of the 53 times he potted one. Here's another chance.
And this time, Sevigny denies with the old pad stack.
George looking for a hat trick for the first time since he got one playing for Kevin Lowe against the LA Kings back in the early 2000s.
February of 2000, basically about 22 years ago on the button. George Laraque, first star that night. But Sevigny with a brilliant save. Eric Houde made a good point. I mean, Ben Scrivens still holds the NHL record for most saves in a regular season shutout. Thornton, Marlowe, Pavelski, Couture. Couldn't beat him that night. No one could. 3-0 Oil. Houde kicks it back. DeBlois with 2.5 to go in the period sees Laraque go right by him. Centering pass tipped away, though. Covered up brilliantly. That was backside defense from Normand Dupont. Shot by Pisani, squeezed through but stayed out. Drew Iron. Braggett. Quick dish. And that was forced wide by Shawn Brown. Laraque. Dandenault. Shane Corson in over the line. Louie DeBrusk streaking in. And that stays out. Sevigny got a piece. Talking with George Laraque before the game. Richard Sevigny still lights it up in Montreal on a regular basis in his chosen league. So he was razor sharp heading into tonight's action. Strudwick with his team down 2-1. Brodziak centers, and that's tipped home. And it scored Bamford with the equalizer right before the end of the first period. It's 2-2 at Saiker's Acres. Louie DeBrusk, rather consumed with the plus he just got, forgot to line up. He'll be replaced by Fernando Pisani. Kyle Brodziak will lead the rush. Strudwick down low, has it picked off by Petrov. Then intercepts the return offering and gives way to Brodziak. Bamford from Pisani. Brodziak. And that's picked off and cleared by Dandenault. Keane, Petrov, a centering pass, and the horn will go, signaling the conclusion of the opening 20 minutes. And we've got a 2-2 stalemate. The Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens in a rematch nearly 2 decades in the making. Again, tonight's game, Legends for Lungs, benefiting Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories, and in particular, their ambitious new project, Breathing Space, a lung health and recovery home, soon to be the first of its kind, not only in Alberta, but in our great nation of Canada. I'm going to step aside for now. Let's go downstairs. Bob Stauffer and Tony Brar will have your Between Periods entertainment.
nice one already. Had a couple opportunities. You're looking for a hat trick here, aren't you, George? I mean, it's been how many years since you got a hat trick in one of these?
Oh, yeah, it's been a while, since 2000 actually in Edmonton, and I'll never forget it. I'd rather get one in the NHL than getting one in a garage league like this. So I'll leave the other guys playing like they think they're scouts out there.
Tell me this, have you come across any fat broadcasters lately that you wanted to hit in the open ice to teach them a little bit of lesson?
Well, you give it to me for so many years in Edmonton. Bob was all over me because even though I was known as one of the best fighters in the NHL, he thought I wasn't mean enough. And he was all over me. I remember that one day in the dressing room, we sat and we talked it over for hours. For hours we hashed it out. But to hash it out better, what I had to do was one time I invited him to skate with us in the summer. And I open ice hit Bob as hard as I could. His helmet flew 20 feet in the air. And but he got up and he went after me. He wanted to go. And obviously I was not going to do it. I owed him one. I think Belzy was there. It was in Kinsman when I laid you out. But you got up like a man. You took it. And we became good friends ever since. And I've been doing your radio show every week.
There you go. What's it like to be involved with this event tonight? I know you do lots of these charitable initiatives. Tonight's for Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories. It's a special night, isn't it?
First of all, it's so nice to be out here because things here are opening up, not like in Montreal. So just to be skating here, it's so awesome. And also to be able to skate outside like that in front of my fans in Alberta. Edmonton for me has always been home. Been drafted by this team and been part of the community here for so long. That is so awesome. I love Edmonton, and you know my twins lives in Edmonton too, so I have many more reasons to come here and stuff because of them. So no, it's awesome, and people are so receptive here. It's a hockey town in Edmonton, and the weather, nothing ever stops us, and I just love every time there's an event like this to be part of it.
All right, that is George Laraque. We'll send it back upstairs momentarily for Jack Michaels, and when we come back, Tony Brar and Shawn Belle, one of the greatest members of the most dominant World Junior team in history back in 2005.
I was in ICU and I was very ill, could not breathe, and didn't have life left in me.
I really only had limited lung function my whole life.
The journey for lung transplant patients and their families is a long and difficult one. And that's why we recognize a need to build them Canada's first home away from home, where they can come, heal, support one another, and go back to their communities. And that's why we're calling it Breathing Space.
Families have to leave jobs, leave their home, leave their income. And it is such a sufficient obstacle that some patients do not come for transplant.
It's necessary for there to be a place where people can feel comfortable and safe as well.
Being able to do stuff with my grandkids, because that's life now.
You can breathe.
I can breathe, yeah.
And we're pleased to be back at ice level alongside Canadiens and Oilers alumni, Shawn Belle. Shawn, take us through the evening so far. Have you enjoyed the atmosphere so far?
Oh, it's been fantastic so far. It's really actually pretty cool to play with guys that, you know, I had played against for a long time, kind of in the minors in the NHL. Watching George carve up the ice. He's putting actual craters in the ice right now. So that's been really interesting trying to go through those. But I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a great initiative here, and it's a great cause. So it's a pleasure to be a part of.
You were flying out there in that first period, making some plays, mucking it up in the corners, talking to some of the guys. Was that pretty active first period for you?
Well, I have to do something to keep warm. But I mean, right now I taste blood, so there's that. But you know, hopefully I can pot one and then celebrate in front of George.
Now, you heard Bob and George talk about the hit. They said you were there, and supposedly I wasn't there, so I'm going off rumors. Bob was not happy after the hit.
No, I mean, it was a pretty big open ice hit. You know, I was kind of standing just beside George when he hit him, and it was a loud thud when Bob hit the ice. He got up, obviously, so to his credit, and he chased George down, and there was a few expletives out there, but cooler heads eventually prevailed after a few bombs got thrown around, but it was all in good fun. They've been friends ever since.
How was Bob's French in the opening ceremonies here?
He needs a little work for sure.
Shawn, now one last question. To be together with all these guys, to see all these people out here at Saiker's Acres here in Sherwood Park, Alberta, all for a wonderful cause, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's really special because at the end of the day, like, hockey's a community, and everybody that comes out and shows support, it's just, you just extenuate that community, and it's terrific to be able to have the opportunity to play in front of the guys, and obviously there's a lot of legends out here, so I'm just happy to be a part of it and be part of this cause.
You talked about legends. I know I said one last one, the question prior, but I'm a liar, as you can tell. To play a guy like Mike Keane, Mike, how cool is that?
Oh, that's really cool. We played against each other in the minors for a long time. He was terrorizing us in Hamilton for a long time, so it's nice to actually be on his team this time.
Shawn, always appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much, Shawn. I'm not sure if we're going up to Jack and Bob right now, but
you are indeed, Tony.
Okay, we are going up, but hey, listen, I've been doing a little bit of homework down here, surfing the rumor mill. There might be a trade coming up in the second intermission. More on that later on this period. Jack, back to you.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. I'll now pause our telecast here for the next 5 or 10 minutes as we continue to zam the ice, warm up, get a cocktail, and don't forget, donations. All you have to do is text the word alumni in all caps to 20222. That's 20222, and you can donate to tonight's cause. Again, Breathing Space, a lung health and recovery home, the first of its kind coming to Alberta and the first of any kind in Canada. It's all part of tonight's Legends for Lungs game, courtesy of the Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories, and our presenting sponsor tonight, the Harkey Hunt Foundation. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll talk to you shortly. Welcome back to beautiful Saiker's Acres, just outside of Sherwood Park, about 10 minutes from that suburb of Edmonton, as we're here for the alumni game, the Lung for Legends, I guess you could say, Bob, as we're here in support of Breathing Space, a lung health recovery home, the first of its kind that Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories are in the process of raising money for. The Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens, meanwhile, are tied at 2 after the opening period of play. What were your impressions?
Well, the Canadiens came out quickly. They had a lot of jump. They made a lot of plays, opened up some looks on Ben Scrivens, and then the Oilers ratcheted up the intensity and created a little bit themselves. So some of the Oilers' bigger bodies got going. And I think we're going to have a very enthralling next 40 minutes here, Jack, or 30, I guess.
Yes, 30. 3 15-minute periods. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. And another way you can donate, you can text to 20222. Text the word alumni, or you can go to rogersplace.com/5050 and buy tickets up until 11 o'clock tonight. And when you do, again, it's in support of that initiative from Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories, the Breathing Space Lung Health and Recovery Home. That's the project we're here to support tonight. And when you buy your tickets at rogersplace.com/5050, you're contributing that. Right now we're up over coming up on $62,000 as we get start for the second period. Ben Scrivens and Richard Sevigny are entrenched in the pipes and ready for our second period.
I'm surprised they haven't run the horseshoe drill here yet, Jack, to warm the guys up.
Well, I'm sure some beverages perhaps consumed in the locker rooms are taking care of that. So as we get set for the second period, want to again advise everyone that tonight's game, 3 15-minute periods, and so many terrific members of two storied franchises, Montreal, 24 Stanley Cups, and Edmonton, 5 in just 7 years on the heels of the New York Islanders, who ended Montreal's long, distinguished run at the end of the 1970s. And, of course, their head coach today, Bob, Yvon Lambert. 4 Stanley Cups, 1976 through 1979. So he was there for that.
As I recall, he was the net front on the Canadiens' power play. Now, at times, Montreal back then did use the big three, all three guys. Sometimes Robinson played the net front as well, but Lambert often played with Risebrough and Tremblay on the second unit, and it depended, the period in which Peter Mahovlich was there as well. He eventually got moved, but Mahovlich and Lambert were center options as well for the Habs, and they had Doug Jarvis as a checking centerman. So, it was an incredibly deep team, one of the greatest teams of all time. And Savard, Lapointe, and as you know, personal favorite of mine, Larry Robinson, who, love him, especially after he worked over Dave Schultz.
Guts of those teams, of course, also won in 71 and 73. As we're underway here in the second period, Mike Keane with control of the puck. 3 cups in a span of 7 years. Starting with Montreal in 93, Colorado 96, Dallas 99, and Keane takes a shot that's kicked aside by Ben Scrivens.
Mike Keane, part of the grumpy old men line in Dallas, along with Kirk Muller, another former Montreal Canadian, and Benoit Houde.
Scrivens, another good save on DuPont. Keane backdoor, and it's tipped home. And Montreal's taken a 3-2 lead. Mike Keane with the assist on the go-ahead goal, and that's the second of the night for Jesse Belanger.
He's in the right spot on the ice, sitting there in backdoor, and another guy that could always score at every level that he ever played at. Had a couple very successful offensive campaigns in Florida during the course of his career.
And again, played until his mid-40s for his hometown club. The Manitoba Moose, the American Hockey League, was an all-star in 2006. Played in that cup final a few years later. George Laraque. Beautiful centering pass. Pisani backdoor and a backhander score. And the DeBrusk family wanted a goal, and they get a goal. Jake and Jordan showing up just in time to see Louie DeBrusk tie this game at 3.
Real nice look there from Fernando Pisani. And how about the touch by George Laraque as he buys a little bit of time and space. And Louie finished that one.
He looked at me like that wasn't as emphatic a goal call as he deserved. I'm saving my voice. I got games to call, 40 and 81, starting on Tuesday, as do you.
Glenn Anderson out there.
Pisani backdoor and a backhander score. And the DeBrusk family
Belanger.
goal. And
oh, he tried banking it. The old Brendan Shanahan special there from Jesse Belanger.
bidding for the hat trick. A clear by Brodziak, an interception by Mike Weaver. DuPont, Belanger, Keane snapped one on net, and Scrivens made the save.
Obviously a scouting report here for the Canadiens. They've tried some sharp angle shots where maybe they're thinking that Scrivens is leaving his post a little early, but he's been on it. Look out.
Corson to Anderson, his second effort. Did that get over the line? No, they say. Glenn Anderson scored 498 goals in his NHL career, but he can't get one here at Saiker's Acres.
I got to tell you, Glenn Anderson, to me, he's a player that he'd probably only score about 15 goals a season now. Now, he is in his mid-60s, so it's to ask him to score a little bit more than that might be asking a little.
I think he might be tacking on a few extra years.
You'll appreciate that. I'm there for it.
Quick dish in front. Strudwick trying to hunt down a goal. A few years ago, Ben Hutton broke his record for the longest streak by a Vancouver Canuck of games played without a goal. Took him out of the record books. Ken Braggett. Glove thrown at him by Dandenault. No penalty called on the play, and Shane Corson looking for the tuck. Corson to Anderson, what a save, Sevigny. Rebound, score. And that's Braggett. Ken Braggett gives Edmonton its first lead of the night. 4-3. He was last seen out here at Saiker's Acres at last year's world's longest game, where, Bob, the temperature was a crisp minus 38.
Well, he looks like a guy right now that's really comfortable in these environments, and you can see it.
So Edmonton with a 4-3 lead, and with that, we'll send it down to our Tony Brar.
Hi, Jack. We're down at ice level with Louie DeBrusk, daughter of number 29, Louie, who actually scored the game-tying goal. Unfortunately, Jordan, we kind of missed it, but he gave us a little bit of analysis. Take a look at the sign here, Jack and Bob. Number 29, Sweet Lou, we want a goal. And Louie, for good measure, even ripped the sign after he scored. So, Jordan, you watch your dad on TV all the time. He's always breaking down games, does a great job at it, but we're going to ask you to throw on your analysis cap. How's your dad's game so far tonight?
Listen, everybody, his game's pretty good. This is my first time actually seeing him play in person since I was a little kid. I was expecting a little more speed from number 29, but he's pretty good. He's floating out there. I heard he missed an open net, but he scored the other chance, so that's pretty good.
Quite not the same scoring touch that your brother has, though, is it?
No, unfortunately not, but Jake's got to, get the mitts going a little bit more, I think, to kind of keep the family proud, but yeah, not as much of a scorer over here.
Maybe take us through what the conversations were like in the DeBrusk household leading up to this game. It seems like the Oilers also just scored again, by the way. It looks like I'm not sure who got it. George, did you get that? George is like, I got it. He's pointing at us. But maybe take us through the DeBrusk household leading up to this game. Was your dad talking a lot about it? Was he yapping himself?
Oh, yeah, he was pumped about it. Obviously, it's a charity event, so he's really excited for those. And he loves to play, loves to get back with the boys and get on the ice. I think he was extra excited because it's a rare opportunity for me and my brother to also be here to watch him. So he was texting us during the intermission, like, where are you guys? So we were fashionably late as usual.
Hey, are you trapping me over here?
a slight chirp.
Jordan, you're obviously here tonight as a fan. If you take a look around, so many great fans taking in this experience. To be around for such a great cause tonight, what does that say about this community?
Oh, it says everything. Edmonton is in a wonderful hockey community, and all the charity events do really good. But the volunteers let us know that the event was sold out, which is amazing. So thanks everybody for donating to such a good cause and spending their time here and watching some old guys play. It's awesome. It's great.
Jordan, I only have one criticism for you. You didn't say listen enough, okay? You did not say. We talked about it pregame, Jack. We said she has to get at least 5 listens in. I think the count is at 1. But Jack, Bob, we're going back up to you in the booth.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Jordan. As you can imagine, I'm the safest broadcaster in the National Hockey League. Shane Corson with a puck as Edmonton now with a 5-3 lead. George Laraque, a 2-goal game tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. So Braggett and Laraque have broken the 3-3 tie. Belanger. Dupont unable to finish. Quick dish. Eluded Mike Keane. And a clear by Shawn Brown. Corson. Just missed Bamford. Dupont. Belanger. And now Dupont in on net and a poke check by Ben Scrivens. Jordan mentioned how you can donate. Text alumni to 20222. Again, we're raising money for Breathing Space, a lung health and recovery home, soon to be constructed by Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories. Jesse Belanger walking in. Beautiful dish, gets it back from Keane. Lead pass to Brodziak, generously waved off. Sevigny. Gracefully ducking back behind.
Well, Edmonton's worked their way back into this game, and it's been some unlikely offensive sources. I mean, Louie DeBrusk, George Laraque, we know what they did best, and they've combined for 3 of the 5 goals in this comeback. And a lot of it's been Fernando Pisani, who's playing center, played mostly the wing during the course of his NHL career, but could substitute there.
Of course, the 14 goals in the 2006 playoffs.
He did the John Druce. Uh-oh, here we go.
Steal by Laraque, burst of speed, reeled in rather easily by Dandenault, gets it back, and Sevigny with the denial.
There was no way Mathieu Dandenault was going to allow George Laraque to separate. It wasn't the ice. He reeled him in. Always a great skater.
And as you said earlier, a tremendous player. Won a world championship for Team Canada in 2003. Ken Braggett, who gave the Oilers their first lead. Turns it over. Houde for the hat trick, and he's got it. Backhander top shelf. And the Canadiens pull within 5-4. Eric Houde, a hat trick. The 15-year pro, fresh off a late arriving flight. And he's lighting it up tonight at Saiker's Acres.
Yeah, he's had a lot of jump and showed some of that silky smooth offensive skill that he possessed back in the day.
Laraque right off the draw, split defenders, and Sevigny came right out and sent him tumbling. And I think he's going to get called. I think that's an interference call on Richard Sevigny. Strangely, none of the players seem overly concerned here.
I think George he's trying not to laugh, I think, right now.
A lot of sarcastic medic chants going up.
George is trying to gut it out. And I believe we do have a penalty shot here.
And this can restore Edmonton's lead to 2.
And George with an opportunity for a hat trick.
His first in 22 years. George Laraque feeling the weight of history and what's on the line tonight. A second puck hurled in derisiveness as he breaks in on Sevigny. And stopped. And he'll have to wait a little bit longer for the Hattie. So the score remains 5-4. And again, a reminder, head to rogersplace.com/5050 and you can go ahead and get your 50-50 tickets in the knowledge that they will be benefiting our efforts to raise money for Breathing Space, a lung health and recovery home, the first of its kind to be constructed here in Alberta.
How about the agility of Richard Sevigny? Hey, Jake, how are you? 64 years of age, and he's still got it in between the pipes.
Well, again, we got the scouting report before the game, and we were told that he's been bringing it in various leagues across the city of Montreal.
And he, of course, played both ends of the Battle of Quebec, played with the Nordiques as well as the Canadiens. And that rivalry was every bit as fierce as the Oilers and the Flames. Of course, you had the Louis Slayer incident with Hamel. Was that 1984? Good Friday? I believe it was.
Michael Burr. Houde to Petrov. And a one-timer. Dandenault stopped twice by Scrivens.
It was a heck of a stop by Ben Scrivens. He slid that left pad out. Let's not forget, Jack, Ben Scrivens had a pretty good performance for Montreal against the Oilers in the would have been the 15-16 season.
Got the win at the Belle Center.
It was either 5-0 or 5-1 that night. It was an afternoon game, actually.
Here's Braggett. And the Canadiens the other way now. Petrov, who can still fly. Waits and dishes, and that just eluded DeBlois. The only man to play with Guy Lafleur on 3 different clubs. Brodziak just misses Bamford.
You did your homework for this broadcast.
Well, I did so because I know that at one point Guy Lafleur was your favorite player.
Pretty good.
Scrivens has it knocked down. Weaver. Stripped by Bamford. And now Corson with an outlet. Edmonton 5, Montreal 4. Corson takes it away from Keane. We were mentioning that rogersplace.com 50-50 jackpot now up over $65,000. And again, the net proceeds tonight benefiting Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories as they build the first lung health and recovery home right here in the province. Pisani unable to finish. Cleared ahead, and it's Belanger. Strudwick back. Centering pass tipped away. Belle a shot, and he just missed. Keane to DuPont. That didn't pan out. Strudwick just missed Corson. And they're going to call Edmonton for icing. Coming up between periods, Bob, who are you going to chat with?
Shane Corson and Mike Keane. That's who we'll talk to. Shane, a former captain of the Oilers, and, man, he could chuck them.
2 guys over 1,150 games. I mean, you got a lot of games played between
both
those
of those
two.
guys could really swing. I remember Shane Corson one night in Vancouver separating Dana Merzen from the herd, and it did not go well for Dana. And Shane was giving up a little bit of size, but he could fire the pistons. And he could score, too.
5 20-goal seasons.
Was with Team Canada in the Canada Cups. And in the 98 Olympics was on Team Canada.
Sevigny out to handle, gives way to Shawn Belle.
Louie had some heat on that pass.
Here's a steal. And a quick dish ahead by Anderson. Laraque and Belle grappling. Anderson tries Sevigny and is stopped. Sean Brown inside. Myers just missed. Laraque a shot, and what a save. Sevigny again robbing him of what has been, to this point, an elusive hat trick. How did we know Terry would make it?
Can't believe he didn't bring us a drink.
It's still early.
7-Up, of course.
Getting down to the latter stages of this, the second period. Oilers with a 5-4 lead. Braggett holds the zone for Bamford. Louie DeBrusk, centering pass and a save made. Braggett denied on the back door. 2-on-1 Montreal. Belanger, Strudwick is back. Little give and go, and Strudwick reads it beautifully. And the outlet to DeBrusk. 3 and change to go in the period, and Bamford just missed. DeBrusk, the semi-aggressive pinch. Montreal bring it back to center.
You have to have some backside support there.
DuPont, Belanger, scores. And Jesse Belanger having himself a night for Montreal.
That was a short side snipe.
Five all. So Belanger with 2, Houde a hat trick. And the Edmonton Oilers and Montreal Canadiens have settled nothing with 2:50 and change on the clock. Let's send it down to Tony Brar with Mike Weaver, the Montreal Canadiens.
Mike, a veteran of 14 NHL seasons, last 2 with the Montreal Canadiens. You guys just tied it up right now. Tensions are high right now at ice level, aren't they?
Yeah, you can see it picking up a little bit. A lot of us have been off the ice for quite some time, but I think you can see it getting a little more intense.
How's the trash talking out there? I feel like it's starting to pick up as the night continues to progress a little bit.
Well, I've always been, people have been trash talking me my whole career. Being a little guy, kind of roughing up the tall guys, they always used to get on me, but it's great. I love it. I love it.
By the way, he mentioned that he's been getting trash talk all night and throughout his playing career. His own teammate right now, Mike Keane, actually just said it's because he's terrible. So he's even getting trash talked by his own teammate right now. But obviously such a tremendous cause here, Mike, to get together and play against the Edmonton Oilers alumni in support of so many programs, especially the Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories. What does that mean to you guys as a group?
I think it's just amazing. I know with the Montreal Canadiens Alumni, we have a tour every year. Obviously, the last 2 years it hasn't happened, but I love it. I get a little teary-eyed going into arenas and raising money for amazing causes. And obviously, all the support of all the people here is big, and everybody online too. I know, I got to get on. Yeah, but obviously everybody at home making sure that they're donating right now is huge.
Obviously, that's the primary focus of today, raising money for all these great causes. But how do you guys win this hockey game with the 5-5 tie right now?
Don't give me the puck.
Well, you're about it. It looked like I kind of held you off from going on the ice. Your teammates are complaining that you're with me. So go get on the ice, Mike. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you. Jack, Bob, back up to you.
Thank you, Tony. Mike Weaver, his 14 years in the National Hockey League, not to be confused with former world heavyweight champion Mike Weaver in the early 1980s. DuPont prepared to take a face-off here. Oilers having trouble fielding a quintet. Now they've got their 5 skaters out there and a clean face-off win. DeBrusk, beautiful look. Anderson, Laraque, and it's turned over to DuPont. Mike Keane for the Habs. DuPont steps in, gets it back, and then just missed Keane. Belle to Keane, chip back door and one-timed home. And Jesse Belanger joins Eric Houde as Canadiens with hat tricks tonight in Montreal now surges back in front, 6-5. Just under 2 to play now here in the second period. Quite a different game than the last time these two hooked up in an alumni affair. Fall of 2003, that one went to Edmonton 2-0. Belanger, little give and go. DuPont, unable to elevate it over Scrivens. And that will be all for the second period. Montreal 6, Edmonton 5. A reminder to those gathered here at Saiker's Acres just outside of Sherwood Park and listening around the world on Oilers TV. Tonight's Legends for Lungs alumni outdoor game between the Oilers and the Canadiens benefits Breathing Space, the first of its kind, a lung health and recovery home soon to be constructed by our friends at Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories. And again, we want to acknowledge Alexis and Jill Harkey, Hunt, and family, our generous presenting partners of the game, as well as McLennan Ross. Thanks to McLennan Ross, not only for their support of the Alberta Junior Golf Tour, but they were tonight's tailgate party partner, PCL volunteer partner, Crystal Glass, Canada ICA, KMG events, and of course our hosts tonight, Brent Sake and his wonderful family. We'll take time out for now and be back with more live coverage on Oilers TV. 2 periods complete. Montreal 6, Edmonton 5.
We are at our demolition of our 3 houses that we have purchased. We're demoing them for breathing space, our home away from home for lung transplant patients.
When someone has to leave their home, leave their job, leave their family, that's a scary proposition. And so this will create space for them to feel like they belong.
This is a one-of-a-kind facility for lung transplant patients in Canada, and so we really feel like we'll have a broad reach to be able to help people everywhere in Canada.
Welcome back to our live coverage from Saiker's Acres just outside of Sherwood Park on Oilers TV. I'm Jack Michaels with a call of tonight's game. Montreal 6, Edmonton 5, and through 2 periods, there's been a personnel shuffle, as we've been told just now that Jesse Belanger and Shawn Belle will be moved from Montreal to the Edmonton Oilers, while Shane Corson and George Laraque will move from the Oilers to the Montreal Canadiens. With his reaction to the trade, let's go down ringside where Shane Corson is standing by with our Bob Stauffer.
Well, Shane, it's a big one. I mean, and it's not the second time you've been involved in a big trade involving the Edmonton Oilers, but just a thought on it. You're going to the right team. I think the Canadiens are up right now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a hat trick for me with the Canadiens. We're up 6-5, so I'm a winner now so far, so hopefully we can keep the lead and win the game in the third period here. But, yeah, big trade. Thank God I'm taking George Laraque with me. I'm very happy about that.
Yes, making sure. It's kind of like when Gretzky insisted that Marty McSorley go to the LA Kings. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I made sure that he was coming with me to take care of me.
All right. How cool is this to be a part of this experience out here at Saiker's Acres for Alberta Lung? It's got to be a fun night for you guys.
I mean, it's an amazing night. It's incredible to be with all the guys, hanging out with the guys, telling stories, and just getting to see each other again. It's been a long time that we've been together, and for this cause, though, it's even much more special to give back and to give to what we can do for families and what they're going through, and helping them it's a big plus for us, and we just feel special and lucky to be a part of it, to be honest with you. And the people that run this and the people that gave us this facility, it's just incredible, and they have big hearts, and it's just lovely to see.
You know, you've documented some of your challenges over the last several years. In the last couple of years, given the pandemic, there's a lot of charities out there that are hurting as a result of people maybe not having quite the same capacity to give. So nights like this remain important, don't they?
They're so important, and like you said, with the pandemic, and I've talked about my own struggles with mental health and anxiety and panic attacks and depression. It's been a tough couple of years for myself and for everybody else, but when you see things like this and people putting things together like this, and the two organizations, the Oilers and the Canadiens, doing this, bringing guys out, and then the people obviously that support it and do all that just shows how important it is and how great people really are in this world. And it's nice to see people come together, and that's what we need nowadays in this world, is more people coming together.
Absolutely. You told a story the other day on our radio show about loaning Louie DeBrusk your brand new Skidoo. Suffice to say, we're lucky Louie's still with us after what transpired. Maybe he can shed some insight on that.
Yeah, well, I was a lucky one. We had a snowmobile club. A bunch of us had snowmobiles. A bunch of us had motorcycles. And I was lucky enough to go to the All-Star game that year. And Louie gave me a nudge and said, hey, Course, you mind if I borrow your snowmobile? And unfortunately, I came home to no snowmobile anymore. But luckily, Louie was okay and wasn't hurt, so we were good.
There we go. You had some great experiences. You represented Canada in the Olympics. You're part of Canada Cup teams, and all. You know, it's quite the journey along the way. But how much of it, you love the game, but how much of it's been about the guys and just those personal relationships you develop with players wherever you went?
It's 100%. I mean, I was lucky enough to play in some, great, like the Canada Cup, the Olympics was a great experience, All-Star games, and play with some of the greatest players in the world. But it's all about the relationships and the friends and the memories we created with each other. Because when I'm on my bed and going to the good Lord, I know that I'll have those memories of my buddies and all that. I don't care about how many goals I got or how many assists I got. It's all the friendships and the memories I created with those guys.
It's a blockbuster. Shane Corson and George Laraque have been moved to the Montreal Canadiens. The Oilers attempting to acquire some skill in Jesse Belanger and some speed on the back end with Shawn Belle. Enjoy the night.
Thanks very much. It's a great time. Thanks for having me.
You bet. That is Shane Corson. Back up to Jack Michaels.
Thank you so much, Bob. And, of course, Jesse Belanger with one of two Montreal Canadian hat tricks tonight. Eric Houde being the other with 3 goals tonight. So it's 6-5 Montreal, and now they get Corson and Laraque on their side. George Laraque, by the way, with 2 goals tonight when he was playing for the Edmonton Oilers, but he'll be a Hab in the third period. We want to alert everyone that the updated 50-50 number right now is surging towards $68,000. So again, we thank you so much for your donations. Keep them coming at rogersplace.com/5050 to get your tickets right up until 11 o'clock. 6-5 through 2 periods. Montreal with the lead, and with more, let's send it down to our Tony Brar.
Thanks so much, Jack, as Kevin Lowe and Yvon and Lambert are currently greeting some young Oilers fans right behind us on the Oilers bench here. And guys, you want to say something there?
Well, she's a VIP.
Hi there. What's your name?
Emma.
Emma, are you having fun today?
Yeah.
Now, I think I know which team you're cheering for, but you want to let us know what team you're cheering for tonight?
Edmonton.
Oh, the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, Yvon doesn't look happy about that. Yvon doesn't look happy. What was that? Oh, she is a VIP. Look at that.
What are you?
I'm a VIP.
Always having some fun is Mr. Kevin Lowe. But guys, obviously a big trade here tonight involving 4 players. As mentioned, Shawn, Belle, Belanger, George Laraque, Shane Corson. Yvon, why is this trade so important for the Montreal Canadiens tonight?
Well, after the first 2 periods, I see that first of all, they're bigger than us. And second of all, the roughness, I was getting tired of it. So I called Kevin, and Kevin answered the phone, and he said, okay. And Corson, I know that he's a tough guy to handle, but he played so many years for us that I know how to handle it. So, and Laraque, well, I know too how to handle him.
Kevin, you trade away your captain. At least he's wearing the C tonight, Shane Corson. A little bit of an organizational change here heading into the third period.
Yeah, actually I made that trade for Jason Greger. Greg's is a big fan of Eric Belanger. And of course, we're up, right? We're leading the game. And I know Belzy will give us some stability on the back end. Good shutdown D-man. So I think it's going to it's enough to get us to the finish line.
Yvon, Kevin, we had him on right before the puck drop. He talked about the importance of today and the collaborativeness between the Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens in support of such a great cause. Why is it so important for you to be involved here tonight?
Well, first of all, it's always nice to see some ex-hockey players. It gives us a chance, first of all, to see the ex-Montreal Canadiens, the younger ones. And for me today, it was really nice to come back here to see first time that I'm meeting Kevin Lowe as a person. We've been talking for the last 2 or 3 hours. I met Glenn Anderson. So it's always nice to see some players. Shane Corson, Laraque, and now I'm meeting new ones, Brosniak and kids. Even in my team, there's a few kids that I knew them, but I never met them before. So it's nice, and the cause, it's always a good cause. It's nice foundations. The guys are really involved. The boys are pleased to do it. They're pleased to participate. So I would like to say thank you to all the sponsors, all the people that they're here tonight, people that they gave money, and they still, I think, give money tonight. So thank you very much for the population and the foundation here tonight.
Couldn't say it any better myself. Thanks so much for joining us, gentlemen. Jack, Bob, Jason Strudwick also told me to tell you guys he's back up to +1 on the night. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Welcome back to our live coverage from Saiker's Acres, about a 10-minute drive from Sherwood Park, Alberta. And we are in support tonight of Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories and their pursuit of a major project, Breathing Space, a lung health recovery home, the first of its kind, soon to be constructed, in part thanks to you and your generous donations tonight. RogersPlace.com 50/50 is where to donate. We're closing in on $70,000 raised. Another way you can do it is by texting the word alumni to 20222. I'm Jack Michaels along with Bob Stauffer, and it's been a spirited night. Montreal 6, Edmonton 5 through 2 periods. Jesse Belanger, a hat trick for the Habs. Now he's going to play for Edmonton in the third period. George Laraque, 2 goals for the Oilers. Now he's going to play for the Habs in the third. That's not really the point, Bob, but, you know, you and I have been kind of working the locker rooms a little bit through 2 periods. Players have really kind of embraced this, especially the late-arriving Montreal guys who should be running on fumes. They've looked pretty energized tonight.
Well, those guys are like you. They spend a lot of time in the gym. You know, there's some others of us that maybe not quite as much. But, no, they're moving pretty well. You know, certainly Houde and Belanger in particular, I thought Mike Keane as well. I mean, Mike Keane's been in shape forever and played forever. And you can tell which guys have been playing a bunch and maybe which guys are in Sunbelt markets where they're used to 80-degree heat and there's no place to play, like Glenn Anderson. You know, for Glenn, he's also in his early 60s, and Glenn's a highly competitive guy.
He had 4 shots on the one shift, came with an eyelash, but Richard Sevigny, for me, is a story.
A goalie, you know, in his 64 years of age. I was gonna say with Glenn, like if he was skating on a, we saw when we did the alumni game in at the Heritage Classic
2003,
the one in 2016 that UB broadcast.
Winnipeg, yes.
In Winnipeg, Craig McTavish put on quite a show. Well, story of course is that Craig McTavish was skating like 4 times a week leading in. And the joke was there's teams looking to sign him as a fourth line checking center. So I'm looking to a couple players like Pisani and Brodziak for me. They've got another gear. Shawn Belle has another gear that they can get to. I think you might see the ice tilt a bit in the Oilers' favor here in the third period. Shane Corson's been a very subtle, smart two-way performer. What a player he was back in the day.
But he's going to be for Montreal in the third.
He's going to be at the Canadiens. So, and I think Ben Scrivens a couple times has been like there's been some pace and some heat on some of those shots. So we'll have some fun here. A big difference in terms of the age of the goalies, but not the compete level of the goalies.
Well, and again, a thanks to the Harkey Hunt family and Brett Sake and his family for having us out at this beautiful complex tonight. Just a picturesque setting and a perfect night, really, for an outdoor game. You and I were a little concerned when we got up this morning, but it steadily warmed up throughout the day, and now the temperature is very comfortable. A few bonfires on hand just to keep everyone warm, and probably some roasted marshmallows as well, but just a gorgeous, gorgeous night here just outside of Sherwood Park. And again, we want to encourage everyone to keep pumping up that 50-50 number as we move toward 11 o'clock. That's when you can buy tickets. So it goes all the way until 11. Well, after this game will conclude, you'll have an opportunity to still support a great cause. Again, the room is called Breathing Space, and it is a lung health and recovery home, the first of its kind, coming to you courtesy of our friends at Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories. Just about set for the start of the third period. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer, Tony Brar from the beautiful Saiker's Acres, and the players warming up and getting set for the final 15 minutes, 3 15-minute periods, as Edmonton and Montreal are rematched nearly 19 years in the making.
Mike Weaver's moving. He's going to be another guy out there. He's still got that stride. Great lateral movement, one of the best hip checkers back in the day as well. And get low bridge guys, and he could send them, you know what, over tea kettle. I seem to recall one with Mike Weaver and the Boston Bruins when he was with, maybe it was with Florida. And Lucic and Horton and guys like that gotten involved. So, along the way.
He was not the one who knocked out Big John Tate, though, in Knoxville in
1980. No, not that Mike Weaver. And that was, I mean, Big John Tate was way ahead on the scorecard that night.
He needed the last 30 seconds. And he outfought him for 44 minutes and 30 seconds and got
Mike
knocked
Weaver,
out.
The boxer, he had like a body from God. Like he looked like, but he was not known as a big puncher.
No, didn't have a sterling knockout record, but nevertheless, WBA heavyweight champion from 1980 until 1982 when Michael Dokes stopped him in controversial fashion.
And George Laraque subscribed to the Mike Tyson credo, which is everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the face. Hard.
So we're set for the third period. The Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens. Jason Strudwick lobbying for beneficial calls from Jeff Nicholas.
He's working over the officials here. That's part of why Struds was so great in the room.
I don't know whether you're allowed to get a photograph and be considered still an impartial participant, but we'll see. Or maybe this is video evidence of what we were talking about, some shenanigans behind the scenes. So the Canadiens will send out one of two players with a hat trick tonight for them, Eric Houde, to begin this third period, along with the newly acquired Georges Laraque.
George just deformed Oleg Petrov. You're playing defense.
Oleg Petrov, the first Russian to ever play for the Montreal Canadiens, and a 20-goal scorer on the team that came within a whisker of going to the Stanley Cup final. So here we go with Houde against Pisani. And DeBrusk and Laraque starting opposite one another. Houde in over the line. And a quick shot stopped by Scrivens. And the Oilers will peel the other way. Pisani moves in, tried to go back door, and Weaver got a stick on that, as Bob mentioned. Looks like he could still be playing right now in the National Hockey League. Petrov. Kicking it back to Weaver. Montreal's not going four corners yet, I wouldn't think. Up 6-5. Still a healthy amount of time on the clock. Updated 50-50 number now over $70,000. So, again, RogersPlace.com/5050 if you want to buy tickets. You've got until 11 o'clock.
2-0 here. George for the Hattie.
Houde and Laraque. Laraque! And a save made by Scrivens.
You know, Jack, you mentioned those 50-50 totals, and we go to other markets where some games it's like 5,000 or 10,000. And then you're in Edmonton, and it can be anywhere from, you know, a couple $100K for a game night to $2 million. It's really an amazing thing in terms of the generosity that Albertans share and their willingness to engage in it.
Well, that's one of the reasons we're here tonight, is this province in particular stands out in this great nation as one that's always willing to rally around a cause. And when you consider that, you know, 1 in 5 Albertans suffer from some form of lung disease, it's a cause worth supporting. That's what Alberta Lung is all about, continued research. And this latest project, Breathing Space, just innovative and well needed. Corson, now wearing 27 as a Montreal Canadien, tapped just wide.
Third tour of duty for Shane Corson with the Canadiens.
Shawn Brown does well to hold the zone, but now Corson will bring it back. That's Jesse Belanger wearing 12 for the Oilers after he got a hat trick in number 29 for the Canadiens through 2 periods, helping stake Montreal to their current 6-5 lead. Here's Shawn Brown. Dandenault kicks it over. Deblois unable to come up with it as a poke check from Scrivens. But now centers, gets it back, and the return pass picked off by Gord Bamford, who has a goal tonight. Brodziak just missing Belanger. Dandenault ahead for Keane.
We have a new arrival on the ice. I believe that is that Brent Saiker? He's going with the always modest number 1.
No pads. Always known as a guy good in the room. It was when he got outside of the room and on the ice that it became an issue. Here's Mike Weaver. Scrivens protecting. And now Braggett, who's had a solid game tonight. Building speed. Only to be poke checked away by Corson. Mike Keane will lead the rush for Montreal. Keane down low, backhander, score. And that's Doug Blaylock, the big Habs fan who grew up loving Jean Beliveau and Ken Dryden. Now lives in Winnipeg and has given Montreal a 7-5 lead.
Well, and he went to the backhand, and that was one of the signature moves for Rocket Richard, but Beliveau also with that reach at that 6'4" frame, he was known for that as well. 7-5.
Doug getting special permission from the Montreal Canadiens to wear number 4 tonight. Bit of a miscommunication off the faceoff, and Eric Houde looks to take advantage. Back door and a one-timer stopped by Ben Scrivens. Glenn Anderson streaking down the right-hand side, and he just missed.
Wow, we've
over
seen
the
that
crossbar
843 times over the years, Jack.
A clear Houde, and now a breakaway for Mike Keane. Lots of time. Tried the drop pass to Laraque, gives it to him, and Georges Laraque, what a save by Scrivens. Perhaps a little too nonchalant looking for the Hattie, and Scrivens dove across to make a tremendous save.
He might get another shot here, Jack.
Houde to Keane. Laraque back door, and he poked it wide. 7-5 Montreal. Laraque. Houde centering pass intercepted by Glenn Anderson. And now Louie DeBrusk. Shawn Brown. Good speed over the line. Tried to feed Bamford, only to be repelled by Weaver. Petrov and a late offside call.
Tight call, Stripes.
Yeah.
They're still on it.
I think that was Norm Shaw injecting himself into the proceedings. Did you get a second look at that, Bob?
Yeah, just taking a look, and it was right on. He was right in position to make the right call there.
Mike Keane, the Iron Man, he's played a lot here in the third. Dandenault lets fly, and another save for Ben Scrivens. Brown and Keane grappling in the corner. Beautiful dish. Double wad, just missing. Here's Keane again. Dandenault back to Shane Corson. And now golfed in by Brodziak. Bamford will leave it for Pisani, and one-timed wide by Kyle Brodziak.
That was the European short side pass that Mark Messier and Glenn Anderson used to execute back in the day.
Brodziak, a couple of stints with the Oilers and a career-high 22-goal season with Minnesota a few years back. Double wall, picked off. Cleared ahead, Jesse Belanger. Takes it hard to the net with a backhander that just missed short side.
Wow, that could have been a collision there.
Shot off the post from Pisani.
You could see the intensity level pick up a bit here, Jack.
7-5 Montreal. Knocked away from DuPont by Belanger. Pisani building speed. Backdoor and just missing Brodziak. Pisani wide open Anderson and denied by Sevigny. Glenn Anderson nearly 100 playoff goals to his credit. Top 5 all time in NHL history. Shawn Brown controlling for Edmonton. Down 2. DeBrusk and Belanger give and go. Stepping in, Brodziak's backhander, and that was broken up. Here's Laraque with Burr ahead, but Strudwick read the play, picked it off beautifully. Weaver, little spinorama. Walks in, shoots, save made. Ben Scrivens.
He's given his team a puncher's chance. That's all you can ask out of your guardian.
Brodziak stymied at the blue line. Laraque in transition. Tried to find Houde, and Brodziak recovered. Made the steal and just missed Louie DeBrusk. That'll be an icing call whistled against the Edmonton Oilers. Tony Brouwer, what do you got downstairs?
Kyle Brodziak right here. Kyle, yeah, he's just getting a sip of water. I wasn't sure what he was doing there. Kyle, you and I talked a little bit during the second intermission there, and you kind of wanted to maybe pinpoint a weak spot on your team.
Yeah, I think one of our D-men is, just overall, I think we're pretty good as a group. It'd be nice to see number 43 just clean it up a little bit out there.
It seems like he's chirping his own teammates more than he's chirping the other team. Is that factual?
Well, that's kind of my style. I just want to see a little more of him. We all know he's got a little more to give, so we want to see it a little bit out there.
Kyle, you've had some good memories on this rink, specifically in the world's longest hockey game. Maybe take us through what that whole experience was like for you.
Honestly, it was amazing. One of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Oh, hot mic.
That's me. You would think I know how to handle a mic by now, but obviously I don't.
But no, it was incredible. Just everybody involved. What we were able to accomplish as a group. Anybody who followed it was aware of what everybody went through together, and it was one of the hardest but most rewarding, amazing things I've ever been a part of. So I'm very grateful to have had that opportunity.
When you see an alumni game like this with so many legends, sitting with you and across on the other bench, and all these great people out here tonight at Saiker's Acres, what does that say about the community to kind of rally around something so important and something that's very close to you as well?
It really is amazing. Obviously today's for an incredible benefit. They got another one.
Normand Dupont makes it 8-5 Montreal after a brilliant pad stack. Oh, excuse me, that was Dandenault. My apologies.
Just, you look around here and you see people sitting around the fire, everybody, having a good time, taking it all in. You see the players that came out to play. To be a part of it is pretty special, and to come out to a place like this where I have some amazing memories. It's really special for me too.
Your team is down 8-5. Give me all the hockey cliches right now for the Oilers to get back in this one.
We got to get pucks in deep. We got to put pressure on them. We're going to give up some chances. We need saves from our goalie, and we got to get start putting pucks at the net. And garbage goals is what we're looking for right now.
Kyle, thanks so much.
You bet. Thank you.
Jack, Bob, back up to you.
Dandenault with a poke check. Broadcaster's nightmare, 225s. I want to get it right the third time. Michael Burr, congratulations. Have for a day, and he makes it 8-5.
I was saying for a second there, Mathieu Dandenault went from 6'2" to 5'9".
And a right-handed shot to a lefty. Here's Mike Keane. It's a numbers-based business, Bob.
Yeah.
Glenn Anderson in.
Short side, there it is.
Stopped by Sevigny, who's had a good night in the Montreal net.
That was the Anderson-Messier special right there, circa 1982. Now, at what point do you pull Ben Scrivens here down by 3? Do you go with the aggressive Patrick Waugh?
Dandenault sold an icing call there against Edmonton. Bring the face-off back to the right of Ben Scrivens.
I think with 3 minutes left or so, you got to look at, getting that extra attacker on the ice when you're down by 3.
8-5 Montreal. Saiker's Acres. And again, still time to get to RogersPlace.com 50-50 and buy your tickets. When you do, the proceeds go toward Breathing Space, which is going to be Canada's first lung health recovery home of its kind. Mike Weaver.
Tight
and
call.
An offside whistled against Montreal.
Tight call.
Well, quite a different affair from the one in 2003. 13 goals combined after a 2-0 Edmonton win back in the fall of 2003.
Oilers needed Kenny Linsman tonight. He was one of the guys that broke through from one of the 2 goals in that game. Kenny Linsman stayed in shape, Jack, by surfing. Got Laraque and DeBrusk talking here.
Mike Keane playing defense.
George wants to get the Hattie.
DeBrusk to Myers, and now Braggett. A steal. The net is empty. 6-on-5. Edmonton selling out here. Shawn Brown. DeBrusk. Pisani curls in front. Shoots. Saves Sevigny. And the rebound cleared. Laraque wisely just gets it out of the zone. Not going for the hat trick just yet. Sean Belle now controls. One of 2 Oiler acquisitions following the first 2 periods. Here's Brown to Brodziak. And the puck deflected out of play. Here's Tony Brar.
Thanks so much, Jack. We're standing alongside Brent Saiker. We're actually playing on his property right now. Brent, to see all these great guys come together for such a great cause, what does that mean to you?
Well, that's awesome, but I was like Neil Armstrong. I made 1 step on the ice and I'm -2. So I'm not sure what they're doing out here. Could use a little help in the backfield. But no, it's unbelievable. When they called and said, is it okay if we can do this and raise some money for the Lung Association? This ice is open for raising money. That's what it does. And I'm very thankful. There's a lot of people that put a lot of time and money and everything just to be here. And it's kidding me? It's in my yard.
It's incredible. It truly is. It just looked like the Oilers scored right now, so I
Kyle
apologize.
Brodziak.
Kyle Brodziak got on the board, so I apologize, Brent. Yeah. What do you think of that? Instant analysis. What do you think of that?
He played 10 days of the world's longest hockey game. He had 2 goals. And he scored in this one.
He needs Jimmy Howard in goal. He got 2 against Jimmy Howard in Detroit during the
That's good. I'm
18-19
very
season.
about this is awesome.
Brent, thanks so much for your time. And hey, Jack, by the way, we've had a couple of players down here ask for down the stretch they come from you. So just wanted to pass that along for you. Jack, back to you.
Well, down the stretch, Rogers Place 50-50. We're up over $72,000. So keep it going, folks. Great job here from Saiker's Acres and on Oilers TV as we go inside. 2 minutes to play.
Scrivens out of the goal again, Jack.
Kyle Brodziak's goal has trimmed it to 8-6. Picked a corner beautifully and now has the puck again. Rifles across seamer. Pisani a shot, a save, Sevigny. Battle in front. It's picked up. Pisani another shot, and that was towed aside. Richard Sevigny at the top of his game. DeBrusk loading up. Now Brodziak. And that will careen off the boards, and now Georges Laraque has an open net. Brodziak sells out and smothered it. Stayed out. Here's Strudwick. Pisani still with enough time on the clock. Heads for the net. Sevigny goes down. Score! And Jesse Belanger has a 4-goal night, a hat trick for the Canadiens and one for the Oilers to bring Edmonton within 8-7. And, of course, I don't have an angle of the official game clock, but I would suspect we're down to about a minute 10. No, 52 seconds.
Well, right now, Yvon, Lambert, and Kevin Lowe are sitting there saying, forget about defense. Just go for it. That's first 1 to 9 wins.
8-7 Montreal. And Fernando Pisani will take a timeout. Kevin Lowe wants to talk it over. 8-7, 52 seconds to go in our Legends for Lungs Oilers Canadiens Alumni Outdoor Game. And again, we want to remind everyone, you can text 20222, text the word alumni to make your donation. You'll also have an opportunity to go to rogersplace.com and be part of the 50-50 until 11 o'clock tonight. And again, that 50-50 prize crawling towards $73,000. rogersplace.com/50-50. All right, what's Kevin Lowe saying right now?
He's saying right now, find a way to get the puck to number 28 or number 34. Get it to either Brodziak or get it to Pisani. They got the young legs going. Find a way to gain some possession, everything directed on goal. And Richard Sevigny's had a brilliant performance. I mean, he went old school with the double stack pad save there just before that sequence. Belanger's the finisher around the net.
Yeah, 4 goals. And the developing story is Georges Laraque. What a save made by Brodziak, denying him a hat trick. Scrivens a couple of great stops to keep what would have been certain victory off the table for Montreal. And now with less than a minute to go, it'll be Pisani, Brodziak, DeBrusk, Belle, and Shawn Brown. And Kevin Lowe, interestingly enough, not deploying the extra attacker just yet. Tony Brar.
Yeah, Jack, I was actually right beside the Oilers huddle here. Then they were kind of discombobulated in who they wanted to get out. They said, Kevin Lowe straight up said, who scored tonight? I want to get goal scorers out there. Strudwick was doing his best to stay out there, but they said no go because he's dashed 2 again. Just a couple of things I wanted to report. It looks like Scrivens coming to the bench, and Strudwick is the extra attacker. Guys, back to you.
Shane Corson with a clear for Montreal. Burr with an empty net. He missed the backhander. That would have been 2 for him. Right now, Michael Burr has the game-winning goal if the score holds. But Belle to Pisani, centering pass open. DeBrusk unselfish. Kicked around, he gets it back. He shoots and scores. Louie DeBrusk has tied the game at 8.
We knew it was going to be the first 1 to 9 wins.
Louie DeBrusk caps a 3-goal Oiler comeback in this third period, and we are tied.
That's the biggest goal Louie DeBrusk has scored since he beat Grant Fuhr twice in the same game.
So we have a 3-man shootout scheduled if we need overtime.
Louie got 2 for Phoenix in a playoff series against the St. Louis Blues and almost sent Grant Fuhr into early retirement after that night.
Well, and then was strangely scratched the next game. That was interesting deployment. Guy gets 2 goals for you. Very bizarre. Not surprisingly, the Coyotes were eliminated.
George Laraque to take a face-off. His lifetime face-off percentage is 63%. He's won 5 of 8 career draws.
And Pisani ties him up, and this game is headed to a shootout. Belle and Strudwick will melt the remaining time. But no, Shawn Belle to Pisani, and he wired one wide. And that has to be the longest few seconds left in regulation. We don't have access to the actual time here. Mike Keane flipped one wide. 10 seconds to go, I'm told. Thank you. Batted down Brodziak. One final clear, and there's the horn, and we will have a 3-round shootout to decide this one. Louie DeBrusk, the equalizer, and 8-8 fittingly, we will go to a shootout. Scrivens and Sevigny to see who can wrest the title toga for this Legends for Lungs Oilers-Habs alumni game. Tony Brar, do you know the shooters?
I don't know the shooters,
well,
but
then
I
why
don't.
Are you on?
Because we got the game-tying goal score.
Hold your pipes there, Jack. Give me 2 seconds, all right?
Hey, that was a nice goal, partner.
Oh, hey, I was wearing 29. I figured I had to score from the goal line.
Your kids asked for one. You gave them 2.
Hey, Tony Brar said go out there and get another one. Okay, so I did.
Hey, that's one each for both of them, eh?
Yeah, one each for both of them.
Unfortunately, Jack, it looks like they weren't able to hang around till the end of the game, so Louie's going to have to tell them, and I don't think they're going to believe you when you tell them you scored your second of the night.
You know what? If they didn't see it, they don't believe it.
Hey, are you lobbying to go in the shootout here?
I don't think so.
Why not? You got 2. You got the hot stick.
Maybe. I don't know. We got better shooters than me, though.
Louie, how many minor hockey and soccer games did you go to?
Oh, a lot.
And they can't even stick around for an extra 20 minutes?
You know, I get it.
They got to beat that
It's okay.
rush
I was
after.
happy they showed up at all.
Boy,
it was nice.
They got you wrapped around their finger, don't they? They're in their mid-20s, for God's
I
sake.
think they saw about 5 minutes, Jack, and said enough's enough.
Show the old man some respect.
Hey, Louie, I'm not sure if you're going to get the call, but listen, if you do, get out there and make it happen.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Louie. Jack, Bob, back up to you.
Louie DeBrusk, the equalizer, and it's 8-all. A lot of deliberation here.
Yeah, Canadiens are going to open it up.
And it's going to be Doug Blaylock.
Okay, watch the backhand here.
Matched up with Ben Scrivens.
That's his patented move. Fakes the shot and goes to the backhand, tries to roof it. The scouting report from Swan River, Manitoba.
Blaylock. Oh! Flashing the leather. Ben Scrivens laid down the stick. And he's 1 for 1 in the shootout. Now the Oilers can take the lead here. And they're going to send out, I believe, Kelly Myers. Right-handed shot.
He's winding it up here.
Works at United Rentals, where he often on his lunch break practices the very maneuver you're about to see.
Don't fall.
Myers. Building speed. Sevigny waits. And he'll handle that trickler and keep it scoreless in the shootout.
That happens. Or is that a called shot? Who did that? Was it Panarin? Who did that a couple of years ago? Faked the shot.
Kucherov.
Kucherov
Tampa.
did.
All right. Michael Burr scored in regulation, but can't bury it here in the shootout.
He had some heat on that puppy.
He did.
Oh.
And now
Ben Scrivens
letting him know.
He's doing the
he
Tiger
came
Williams.
up empty. Oilers. Their shooter in the second round. Should mention Ken Braggett already with a goal tonight, and they're going to send him out here for round 2 to try to give Edmonton the lead. Ken Braggett misses short side. And now we go to what could be a decisive round 3. And the man with a hat trick in regulation, Eric Houde, will try to give the Canadiens the lead in the shootout.
He's got the slick mitts, loves the fake, and go backhand 5-hole. Or slap it right
a
at him.
slapper, and Scrivens holding sway and dismissively boots it away. And now the Oilers can win it right here, right now. So many choices, and it's going to be, I believe, Fernando Pisani. Kevin Lowe gave him the tap and said, it's time for you to finish it. Cam Ward beaten in Game 5.
From Sherwood Park.
Absolutely. Fernando Pisani to win it in a shootout. Backhander score! And the Edmonton Oilers come all the way back to extract the stuff of victory. 9-8 in a shootout.
Well, Pisani's always been a clutch scorer, Jack. And this, I think Fernando would be the first to tell you, that's probably the biggest goal he's ever scored.
Fernando Pisani and the Edmonton Oilers celebrate a 9-8 shootout victory. Team shake hands. Terrific performances from Richard Sevigny and Ben Scrivens tonight. A hat trick for Eric Houde. George Laraque, 2 goals. Louie DeBrusk, 2 goals, including the equalizer with less than 30 seconds to play. Jesse Belanger, a 4-goal game, 3 for the Habs, 1 for the Oilers. And it all adds up to a 9-8 Edmonton win, Bob, on a night where already the Rogers 50-50 is up, approaching $75,000. You'll have an opportunity over the next 3.5 hours to continue to donate. You can also text the word alumni in all caps to 20222. That's 20222. Text the word alumni and you can donate. And what a tremendous event. The Edmonton Oilers 9, the Montreal Canadiens 8, and it all benefits our friends at Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories in their support of their ambitious new project, Breathing Space, the first ever home for lung health and recovery. Bob, a final word.
Well, I see Mike Keane and Louie DeBrusk working the crowd right now. Fernando Pisani, obviously, he's got to be stoked on how this one finished for himself. Tony's going to have Fernando here momentarily, but there's no losers on a night like tonight, Jack. Everybody had a fun. It was a kicker. The refs did a great job. We didn't complain about one call all night. That's a wonderful night. The less we talk about the stripes, the better. Let's go downstairs where Fernando Pisani stands by with our own Tony Brar.
Fernando, you scored a big goal back in 2006 in Game 5 in Carolina, but tonight you get the job done in Saiker's Acres, Sherwood Park, Alberta. Describe what the win means to your group tonight.
Yeah, it's almost the same. Yes. You know, like you look at it. I saw Kevin. I thought he tapped Struddy to go out there, so I just jumped on the ice and tried to put an end to that. So, but you know what? It was a lot of fun. The good guys out here, and we just had a blast and raised money for a great cause.
You heard the guys. I think it was close to $75,000, guys. $75,000, and towards such a tremendous cause. What does that say about this community here, Fernando?
You know what? It's amazing. Like, I never been out here, and when we pulled up with the bus and looked and saw all the people out here, it's just amazing with everything that's gone on and people supporting and getting behind things. It's truly amazing to be a part of this organization and to be here in front of all these people, and hopefully they had fun.
When you guys rolled in at 4 p.m. till right now, right this moment, what did you make of the entire experience along with the Canadiens alumni here tonight as well?
Yeah, you know what? They're a great group of guys, and you know, as soon as you get on the bus, it's that old team mentality, and guys were just chirping and having a good time, and seeing some familiar faces that I haven't seen in a long time as well. So it was a lot of fun, and you know, it was just a great time.
Wasn't that good of a shot.
Louie DeBrusk saying it wasn't that good of a shot, by the way, in case you guys didn't hear that.
Yeah, he missed the one I passed to him in the slot. So, but yeah, it was fun. Thanks to everybody for coming out. This was a great experience, and yeah, we had a blast.
Fernando, thanks so much for this.
All right, thanks a lot.
Jack, Bob, stop me if you've heard this before. Fernando Pisani game winner, crucial moment. The Oilers alumni now 2-0, dating back to 19 years ago when they won 2-0 at Commonwealth Stadium. Tonight, they win via the shootout. Back up to you guys.
Well, you had 4 game winners in the run to the Stanley Cup Final in 2006, including the aforementioned Game 5 OT winner, Fernando Pisani, wins it for the Edmonton Oilers 9-8. But again, a big win for hopefully Alberta Lung and Northwest Territories moving forward and breathing space. Again, the first lung recovery and health home. And that's something that I think we can all get behind. And again, I would be remiss if we don't, again, give a shout out to the Harkey Hunt Family Trust tonight, along with McClellan Ross, PCL, Crystal Glass, Canada ICI, KMG Events, and Brent Sake and his wonderful family for being terrific hosts tonight from Saker's Acres. 10 minutes from Sherwood Park. Bob, it was a blast.
It was a kicker. It was old school. A lot of fun, and the Oilers came back, and hopefully that's a bit of a precursor for things to come here. I mean, we're going to have an exciting second half of the season. All-Star break, obviously, Edmonton with 40 and 81, and why not do an extra one? It was a lot of fun out here, and we had a great time, and the only thing we don't need to see is Tony Brar on the ice shooting the puck right now.
Well, for Bob Stauffer, Tony Brar, I'm Jack Michaels. Again, you can catch the entire second half of the upcoming campaign, 40 games in 81 days for the Edmonton Oilers, who go into the break on a 5-0-1 stretch right here on Oilers TV. So for now, we'll tell you that tonight, as with all nights, ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all ours.